Hey everybody, how are you? Hope you're doing fantastic. So I'm recording this video over here. Came out to visit with some of the folks from the team in Cleveland, Ohio. So happy to be here. And today's topic that I would like to talk about is the three-way validation call. I hope that you're seeing me okay. Move a little bit over here just because of the sun in my eyes. Should be wearing sunglasses, but recording this over here. Let's see if this is going to be a little bit better. Maybe like this a little bit better. Okay, talking about the three-way validation call. So we spoke in previous videos about inviting people to take a look at the opportunity, sharing the information with them, follow-up, which is now part of the three-way call. So let me talk to you about this, which I think is a topic that is very, very much overlooked. People don't pay attention to it, and I think that's one of the key factors of succeeding in this business, and that is the three-way call. So what is the actual three-way call? Three-way call is a validation call. It is a way for you to get your potential consultant, your prospect, on the phone with an existing Ambit consultant besides yourself, who has a little bit more experience, a little bit more success than you. It doesn't mean necessarily that they have a higher title than you. If you're a regional consultant doing a three-way call, your three-way call validator can be a regional consultant, senior consultant, executive, national, whoever it is. But the way that it's going to work with these three-way call validations is very simple. And if you pay attention to the notes I'm going to give you and start utilizing it, I believe that you will have and see a difference in the way your business is going to grow. You are talking with the prospect and you're sending them to take a look at the information. You set a time to follow up with them. Great. So I'm going to use the name Bob as an example. I am the consultant and Bob is the potential consultant. I reached out to Bob. He agreed to take a look at the information. When I got off the phone with Bob, I set a time to follow up with him. So say it's Tuesday morning and I was speaking to Bob and I said, great, Bob, will you have a chance to watch it by this evening? He says, yes. I say, okay, great. I'm going to call you about 8 o'clock. Does that work for you? He says, no, 9 o'clock is better. I say, okay, great. 9 o'clock, I'll be calling you. Good luck. Have a great day. When I hang up the phone with Bob, I'm now going to reach out to this consultant or this individual that I work with in order to make sure that they are on standby in order to be able to validate the call. Now, why am I going to reach out to, let's call him John. John is a senior consultant, and I'm going to text out to John. I don't know necessarily that you want to call John because you might not get a hold of him. Maybe you'll try 2-3 times and you won't get confirmation. So text out. You can try to call as well and leave a voice message. I personally prefer that I get a text message so that I know that so there comes right to my phone and I can respond. So I'm going to reach out to John and I'm going to tell John that I need him for a three-way call between 9 and 9:30. And John is going to respond back and he's either going to say yes and I'll say great, thank you, or he might say I'm not available, and at that point I will go and I will look for somebody else that can be available. Now the reason that you want to set up this three-way call in advance is because you want to make sure that when you do call John, I hope with this wind I'm coming through, when you do call John and he sees your number on the phone, or I see the number on the caller ID, I know that this is somebody calling me with a potential consultant for a three-way validation. So not just calling out of the blue. So John agreed. Let's assume at this point that between 9 and 9:30, I say thank you, great. I am then going to call Bob, my potential consultant, my prospect, at the time that we scheduled. So we're calling him at 8 o'clock tonight and I'm calling him. I'm going to reach to Bob. Hey Bob, how you doing? Great. Did you have a chance to take a look at the information? And Bob is going to say, yes, I did. Okay, great. Now here is the leading part towards this three-way validation call. The first question you're going to ask Bob, and this is where a lot of people get confused, the first question you're going to ask Bob is, did that make sense to you, or did it make sense to you? Please don't go ahead and ask Bob, what did you think about it? It's kind of a psychological question. When you ask somebody, what did you think? They know that there's some positive stuff out there, but most chances are is that they're going to respond with something that might not really be a positive outcome. Not always, but we're going to lead with a question that we know the answer for. So you're going to say to Bob, hey Bob, did that make sense to you? And Bob is going to say, well, sure, yeah, absolutely, great. Bob, what did you like about what you saw? You're going to ask that question twice. Now, whatever it is that Bob responds back to you when he said that, you know, whatever it is that he liked, you're going to confirm exactly what he said that you like. Listen, you're an Ambit consultant, and whatever it is that Bob liked about the presentation, obviously you like, because you're an active Ambit consultant. So Bob's going to say, hey, listen, I love the fact that we're able to save customers money on their bills. Great, Bob, that's one of the key factors. That's what I love about this opportunity. What else did you like about it? Well, listen, the fact that we can actually get paid residual income to unlimited levels, that's you know, huge. And I'm going to say, absolutely, that's one of the attractions that I had to this opportunity. So Bob, let me ask you a question. So obviously it makes sense to you. You like the fact that our customers are saving money and that we're getting paid residual income to unlimited levels. So does that mean you're ready to get started, either as a customer, a consultant, or both? Now at this point, there's going to be a pause, and most likely on the other line, Bob also is going to pause. And I'm going to come in right away if there's no answer, and I'm going to say, do you have any other questions? And there might be a pause after that, and at this point, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say, hey Bob, can you hold on for me 1 second? I apologize, 1 moment. And I'm going to put him on hold. I'm not going to ask him if I can put him on hold. I'm not going to tell him why I'm putting him on hold. Now, this whole initial conversation shouldn't take more than, I don't know, maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes at most, to get to that point to where, hey Bob, do you mind, can you hold on for me 1 second? Let me just put you on hold 1 second. At that point, I'm going to put him on hold, and I'm going to go ahead and call John, or I'm going to call that individual that's now waiting for me on standby to do this validation call. Now I'm going to call John on the phone. I'm going to say, hey John, thanks for picking up. I got Bob on the other line. Let me bring him on. I'm not going to give a whole rundown and a whole background description as to who Bob is to John, but I'm going to get him on the phone, and I'm going to say, hey Bob, you still there? And he's going to say, I'm here. And I'll say, oh, Bob, I appreciate it. Sorry for putting you on hold, but I took a chance on this, and I wanted to go ahead and get John on the phone with us. John is a senior consultant with Ambit. He's been with Ambit for about 3 years. He's gotten promoted twice in the marketing plan. He was formerly in the real estate business. And I figured that he would be a great validation to be able to bring you onto the phone, to be able to answer any questions for you. John, I have Bob on the phone. Bob is in the law enforcement Spectre. He's been there for about 15 years. I had a chance to meet him at one of our kids' basketball games, and he had a chance to take a look at the Ambit opportunity. I just wanted to bring you on the phone to be able to answer any questions for him. Bob, John, John, Bob. At this point, I completely, like literally, shut my mouth. I zip it up. I don't say a word after that. I'm going to let John do the work. I'm going to let John do the talking. He's going to ask questions. He's going to lead Bob into asking him questions so that he can answer for him. I will tell you personally, when I do these three-way calls, I don't try to convince people to join. I'm going to give them facts. I'm going to give them answers and point them in a direction that will help them to make a better decision if they're going to become consultants or not. Whatever it is that's being said on that call, whether you disagree with John or not, you don't say anything. Not your position at this point. You brought on an expert. You let the expert talk. And it depends on who's doing the three-way calls. Some people might, have the call going on for 3-4 minutes. Some people might have it on, for 10-12 minutes. It all depends on how the conversation is going. The whole purpose of this three-way call is to validate the opportunity by somebody other than yourself, because that prospect might know you, and they might know that you know nothing about energy or about deregulation or about network marketing. That's why we're bringing that expert onto the call with us to validate it. And they're going to talk about the one who's doing the three-way call. In this case, John, he's going to talk about the company. He's going to talk about the aspect of working together as a team. He's going to give some validation points, talk about accomplishments, and more importantly, talk about the fact that we can put a plan together for you as an individual to help you build this business successfully. At that point, you're going to hear what's going on in the conversation, and it's either that Bob is ready to become a consultant. Great. Bob wants to think about it. That's great. Bob wants additional information. That's great. Whatever it might be, John is going to end the conversation, and he's going to say, okay, Bob, or okay, to me, it was nice talking to you. I do wish you, success in whatever journey it is that you choose. Looking forward to welcome you to the team in whatever direction it's going to be. And then he'll hand the call back to me, and I'm going to say, okay, Bob, hey, thanks for hopping on the call, and whatever it is that was scheduled or discussed with John, we're going to go ahead with that, whether it was a follow-up tomorrow after he shows it to his spouse, whether it was to whether it was to send him any more information, additional information that he might need or whatnot. And at that point, we're going to hang up the call and schedule a follow-up or whatever it is that needs to be sent over, discussed, or another call or whatever it might be. Don't go over the entire call that you had again with John. That's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to just end the call and follow up in whatever method with whatever information it is that was discussed. When you start doing these three-way calls and you use the system and bring people in to be able to help you with this, you will see a difference in the way your business is growing. Don't try to do this on your own. That's the purpose of the leadership, the individuals that are here to be able to help you along the way to build this business. I hope that you were able to pick up a little bit more information about this validation call. I know for a fact that this will help you as you go out there and grow your business, and do these validation calls with everybody. No matter who this prospect is, try, if you can, when you're getting somebody for a third-party validation, that you get somebody that might have maybe a similar background to the individual that you are talking to, your prospect. If he's a real estate agent, try to get somebody from that industry. If it's somebody in the medical profession, try to get somebody from that profession on the phone who's an existing Ambit consultant who can validate that. Try to match the backgrounds and the professions together so that it can be more personal and they can relate more to it. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to reach out to us so we can help you further. I hope that this was good information for you, and looking forward to your continued success. And go ahead and check out the other videos that we have on various topics, and looking forward to seeing you walk across stage, and looking forward to your success. Take care, everybody. Have a great day.